All right.
But I can remember growing up, quiet as it's kept, that one of my favorite experiences was going to the eyeglass place. Because I saw getting new glasses as a new opportunity to, matter of fact, get a new face.
Yeah.
You get new glasses, you just feel like $1 million, you know, even if they got to be a little thicker this time around. You got a new look, a new lease on life. And so I can remember loving to go to the eyeglass place. We used to go to a place called EyeMaster.
Right.
But the problem is I could never get to EyeMaster without going through a process.
Right.
And I hated that process. The older I got, the few and far between my new glasses got, because to get to EyeMaster, I had to go to the eye doctor. And going to the eye doctor almost with, they're going to put the little drops in your eyes. And I don't know when they thought it was a good idea to drive that little microscope right up to your eyeball and blood it. Come on, somebody ought to talk back to me. And it was like, as much as I love to get a new face by getting new glasses, I did not like going through the process. Even if it was going to help me to have better sight. The sermon ain't going to get no better than this tonight. If you're not on the train, you're about to get left behind. The reality is, life has taught me, friend, that sometimes we'll settle for limited vision and limited sight. We'll walk around in spiritual darkness and forfeit the favor of God's vision because we're afraid to engage the process.
Speak, Reverend. Speak.
God, what if I have to go through a process to get a new prescription? God, I want to see better. God, I want to behold what the Spirit is saying in my life at this season. But I'm just not ready to go to the doctor and go through the process. I wish I had some help in here. And so in the text, I see some amazing things. I can remember as a child, I went to, it's amazing stuff you remember, I went to a doctor, his name, German doctor, Dr. von Orten. I probably don't even remember. I had to get eye surgery. They say I had astigmatism, and I had notorious big eye. It would wander. You put it on a leash. And so what I did is I went to the doctor. Some of y'all slow. I went to the doctor, and the doctor could tell I was a little nerved out about the surgery. Real talk, I ain't never been cool about nothing being around my eyes. I really don't like water in my eyes. Get too close to me and you might get blessed around my eyes. Amen. So this dude, he's saying not only has he been putting these drops in him, not only has he been examining and dilating, but now he's about to cut it open and go in there and fix some stuff. And he could see the fear. I believe a couple of times I actually just hit him, just haul off, and you know.
Tell the truth. Tell the truth.
And I remember, I don't know if my mother remembers, but I remember the day of the surgery, he looked me in the eye, and I told him, I said, Doc, I'm scared. I'm a little boy, I'm afraid. He said, DeChard, don't worry. He said, I'm an EyeMaster.
All right.
I can remember it like it was yesterday. At that time, I didn't understand. But what I do know is a couple of years later, I had to go back to another doctor.
See.
Because he wasn't. Y'all ain't looking at me. I had to get somebody to go back in and tighten up that other eye because this master. I remember going to get new prescriptions. Thinking I was fly, but a couple of years later, them glasses got to lean and they're sliding, and the prescription got a little foggy from EyeMasters. Can I tell you, it's because they were nothing but cheap imitations. But in the Word of God tonight, I see that there is a man from Galilee who's giving sight to the blind. He's the original EyeMaster. You ought to know your neighbor and ask him, do you know him tonight? He's the original. The original EyeMaster. I'm going to give you four quick things.
All right.
John chapter 9 opens with this fella who we don't know too much about. All we know is he's blind.
Right.
And he begs.
See.
Blind and he begs. He could be a great person. Could be highly articulate. But the way this life works, whatever your predicament is, will overshadow your positives. So first thing I want to talk about is a painful predicament. Look at this fellow whose life is summarized by blindness and begging. Because he's blind, he can't get a good job, so he's left to get in where he fit in. And the whole time knows him as a beggar. And in Austin, we got them folk that stand on certain corners, and some of them so slick they move around. They change the sign. I'm gonna keep it real. I just need a beer. You know, we know what beggars are like. Ain't no need me to, you know. I just need to get whatever I need to get. But this man is blind. Blind in one eye, can't see out the.
Right.
Every day he wakes up in darkness. He has a physical limitation of having no sight.
All right.
Can you imagine what it's like that every day you can hear the voice of a beautiful woman?
My Lord.
But you can't see. You can hear the song of the bird. But you can't see the feathers. You can hear the wind blowing through the trees.
My God.
I'm talking about walking in darkness. And somebody, if you would be real in here, you can testify, Pastor Free, I can see. My eyes can see. But I know what it's like spiritually to find myself in dark and dismal situations. I really just need about 5 people that's going to keep it 100 in here and testify that I've gone through some life seasons where I couldn't see my hand in front of my face. The clouds hung so low. The night was so long and dark. I know what it's like to be in a pitiful, painful predicament. This man is blind. So somebody's wondering, Pastor, how do I know then if I'm spiritually blind? Back in the day, I used to think, I was a little boy preaching about Bartimaeus, that to be spiritually blind meant you were lost in sin. But I lived long enough with God to know that you can be saved, sanctified, and sermonized, and still be spiritually blind. I wish I had some help in here. Is there anybody here that knows what it's like to have this job with this offer and this job on this hand, and you don't know which way God is moving spiritually? Anybody know something about a proposal from Larry and a proposal from Johnny, and you don't know what God? I'm talking about being spiritually blind, needing direction from God. How do I know if I'm spiritually blind? I'm glad you
Tell him.
Here's the barometer of blindness.
All right.
First of all, you can know if you're spiritually blind by impeded progress.
All right.
Blind folk.
See.
Blind folk don't run marathons. Blind folk don't drive automobiles. Now I know there's some folks who drive light. Come on, talk back to me. You can't say amen. You probably one of them that just be using. Because blind folk, because of their limited ability or no ability to see, gotta be careful. With their forward progress. That next step is not sure. You may know that you're spiritually blind if you're stuck in the same place you were this time last year. You've been in a holding pattern. You're hanging with the same folk. You're making the same mistakes. You're falling into the same pitfalls. I wish I had somebody there to just keep it real. I've been spiritually blind before, and he kept me from moving forward. It kept me stagnant. It kept me on a job that I knew I was overqualified for. Spiritually blind. It will impede.
Impede.
Your progress. It is, in my opinion,
Speak God.
the greatest musicians to ever live. Stevie Wonder.
All right.
I believe nobody writes like Stevie writes.
I hear you.
Nobody loves a ballad like Stevie does.
All right.
I mean, he's written some songs that make you want to fall in love again. But there's one thing I can't stand about Stevie Wonder, and that's the way he looks. I ain't calling the man ugly. I ain't even looked at him all like that. I'm just talking about the way he presents himself on stage. Some of y'all so saved and sanctified. You know, Stevie will be with polka dots and plaids and checkerboard squares, all in the same outfit. And then he got them beads in his hair like a 7-year-old schoolgirl, and you just, Stevie. I didn't think a musical genius could come out of a fashionable fool, and so one day God dropped in my spirit, you can't trip off the way Stevie